Hey, it's Clark from Bass Antler. So today we're going to talk about suppressors. Alright, first and foremost, I've got a list of the top 10 questions about silencers from Silencer Shop. First off and foremost, it's not a silencer. It ain't going to make it quiet. It's a suppressor. But beyond that, is it legal to own a silencer? Yes, it is legal to own a silencer if you live in a good state. Brings us to the next question. Which states allow silencer ownership? Well, I can care less about all the other states. We're in Georgia and we can only sell you a suppressor in Georgia. So yes, in Georgia you can legally own a silencer. Number 3, do I need a special license to own a silencer? No, it's not a license. Every time you buy a silencer, you're applying for a tax stamp. You pay for that tax stamp, and that tax stamp is tied to the serial number on that silencer. You can transfer that silencer from one gun to another, and you don't have to worry about anything. But that silencer is tied to your name directly if you do an individual, or if you want several people to be responsible for that silencer, you need to do it in a trust, as of now. Number 4, what are the benefits of using a suppressor? They actually put suppressor on that one instead of silencer, so kudos for putting the right word in there. What are the benefits? First and foremost, it's going to make things hearing safe. Even supersonic rounds, it's going to make hearing safe. So if you're shooting an AR with 5.56, 223, that round's moving supersonic already. It's not going to slow the round down enough to make it subsonic. It's just suppressing the sound of it, i.e. the name suppressor. So if you're shooting supersonic, it's going to be loud, but it's going to be hearing safe for most rounds, unless you're shooting some kind of super fast round that's 4,000 feet per second. It's probably still not going to be hearing safe then. If you're shooting something subsonic below the speed of sound, 1,050, 1,070 feet per second, it's going to be pretty quiet. Number 5, do I give up any rights when I buy a silencer? No. No one can legally take your rights away for you. The ATF is not going to come to your home, randomly knock on your door and be like, hey, you bought a suppressor, we need to see it and see how it's stored. They're not going to do that. They just don't do that. That's unconstitutional. Number 6, can I use one silencer on multiple calibers? Yes. The only thing, like if you buy a 45 caliber suppressor, right? This is the Omega 45 that we have here in the store, and you want to run it down on a 9mm. Can you do that? Yes, you can. Can you run some suppressors at a 45 caliber on things like 308s, 6.5 Creedmoor, 5.56 223? Yes, you can. The only thing you need to make sure you do is check with your suppressor, make sure that it's rated for the caliber you want to use it on. Case in point, a lot of suppressors will do subsonic 300 blackout, but they will not do supersonic 300 blackout if you got a small can. Alright. And then you run into things with like end caps. Make sure you have the right end cap on there before you blow the end cap of your 30 cal front cap off shooting a 45-70 off your 46M, stuff like that. Number 7, what is the difference between a suppressor and a silencer? Potato, maybe if it's harassment or harassment. It's just the option of the word, really. I mean, silencer is like the misnomer for a suppressor. So if you say suppressor or silencer, we're not going to really correct you. If I had $1 for every time someone says I need to buy a clip for my gun, I'm like, it's not a clip, it's a magazine, I would just get tired of saying it and still be poor. How quiet is a suppressed firearm? Well, certain suppressors are going to do a great job with certain calibers, i.e. case in point, if you have a 22 suppressor and you're shooting standard velocity, you're still going to be a little louder than it will be if you're shooting 1,050 feet per second. 300 blackout, subsonic round, it's going to be quiet. And one of the things that makes it quieter is if you're using a bolt action, it's going to be quieter than an AR style gun that has the action going back and forth, because a lot of that noise and gas escapes out of the AR from the ejection port. It's going to be louder than a bolt action or a break open or just a single shot in general. That's why a lot of ARs have the adjustable gas block. You can turn it into a single shot and make it quieter. Number 9, how will a silencer attach to my firearm? Good question. Well, it depends on your firearm. There are a lot of different firearms out there. Case in point, this is a P17. most most 22 pistols actually have a fixed barrel, which means you can do a direct thread mount without a piston for 22 suppressors. Something like a Glock 45 with a threaded barrel. This barrel moves, so as the action of that barrel moving, you need to have a piston in your suppressor. And what that does is it allows that suppressor to move a little bit, keeps your gun functioning properly once it's broken in, and allows you to shoot without it jamming. Rifles, direct thread, so ARs with a muzzle brake, a lot of suppressors come with what they call the QD attachments. It's all gun dependent. If you want to come in and talk to us about it, we can answer your questions. Wesley is my expert in that field now when I'm not here. So he'll sit down with you. He has nothing better to do than talk to you all day long. And number 10, how long does it take to register a suppressor? So if you're a first-time buyer and you come in and you want a suppressor here at Bass and Antler, we're going to sit down with you. We're going to set you up a Silencer Shop account. We're going to help you set up an ATF forms account. We'll run you through our kiosk for your fingerprints. We'll take your picture. We'll put that on the website for you. And altogether, that's about a 10 to 15 minute process. Depends on your ability to operate your cell phone and access your email. Because if you can't log into your account, it's going to be an issue. If you can't reset your account with your cell phone operating on mail, it's an issue. And we found out that it's a lot easier if we just assist you in that process than having you try to do it on your own. Because some people have names like Nate and Nathan. If you go by Nate, you must put Nathan on your form. If you put Nate on your form, when we go to log in to certify your paperwork and you enter your information in, I enter my information in, it's going to be like, it's not the right thing because you put your name in there incorrectly. That's why we like to help you out with it and make sure that all the information is correct from the get-go. All right. One of our top 10 questions here at the store that we get is, do you have any 308 subsonic ammo? Yes, they make 308 subsonic ammo, but by the time you knock it down to subsonic, you should probably just buy 300 blackout if you have a 300 blackout. If not, look into getting a 300 blackout. You're losing the performance of that 308 by trying to knock it down so slow. That's why they make certain calibers that are subsonic, and they make them in mass quantities, so they're a lot easier available. If you got any questions, just give us a call at 478-452-3040. Ask for Wesley first. If you can't get him, I can answer your questions. I just like to annoy him. If you go to bassandantler.com, you can check out everything there, and we also have a Silencer Shop link to our account, so you can check us out there as well. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to us. We can probably answer them for you. Hey, it's me again. This is going to be like postscript. I forgot to add probably one of the most important questions we get asked. What are the current wait times for a suppressor? Well, that depends. I did one for a guy a couple of days ago. It took 2 hours and 25 minutes. I was super shocked. Never had one come back that fast. Most of mine probably take about a week to 10 days for them to come back for people that we process them for. Every now and then there's that one John Smith that they look at for 3 months to make sure that he's not one of the other million John Smiths out there in America with that name. Other than that, I mean, it's all hit and miss. I mean, it depends on whether you get one of those federal employees that's sitting at the house with a mouse jiggler not doing their job, or you got the guy that's actually sitting in the office checking his email regularly. It's a crapshoot. There's no rhyme or reason for certain ones to come back faster than the other. It's just the more you put it off, definitely the longer it's going to take. So get down here now if you want a suppressor. We'll get you taken care of.